we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.
Some of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube are indoor houseplant tours, but I started to notice that everyone seems to have, it's like an unspoken rule, everyone has like 50 to 100 plants in their home. Didn't get the memo. I live in a small, humble abode, and we have maybe 20 plants. Like I don't want to count, because if it's less than 20, like you guys are gonna be like, what kind of tour is this? But honestly, like I live in a small apartment, I don't have floor to ceiling windows, light is quite limited, and yeah, I literally picked the plants that could make the cut in my apartment. I feel like this is America's Next Top Plant. Also, if you have never really had a lot of plants in your home and you're just starting out, maybe you're seeing if you have a green thumb, or maybe you're killing all of your houseplants and you need some tips and tricks, this video is perfect for you. And a little bonus, at the very end, I'm gonna actually show you how to propagate your own plants. With that being said, let's go ahead and meet my plants. This is one of my most complimented houseplants. This is a Pilea, otherwise known as a Chinese money plant, and it is said to bring good luck. And I know mine looks a little upset right now, but I had to change the soil and kind of make it, like fertilize it. And so really easy to care for. If you're wanting a really unique plant in your home, I would highly recommend this one. It can be a little hard to find, and the best part is that when people see this plant in your home, I think they automatically feel like, oh my gosh, this is so hard to care for, but it really is so easy to care for. You just have to make sure that it gets a lot of good indirect light. Highly recommend this. Oh my God. Okay, we have my next plant. It was on the ground, and this is my rubber plant. Rubber plants come in this solid green form, and they also come in this variegated pattern on the leaves. I really like this because honestly, it's super low maintenance, you guys. You really don't need to do much with it. Dusting your leaves is so important, and I don't think a lot of people do this, but you have to do this. Anytime you have a plant with really wide leaves like this, or even on your fiddle leaf fig tree, which I'm about to show you, it is so important to regularly wipe the leaves off. They get a lot of dust, and it's gonna make it really hard for sunlight to be absorbed by them. I basically just get some warm water on a towel, and I just, wipe every single leaf off, even the little baby ones down here. And oh my gosh, if you guys are looking for baskets to put your plants in, Goodwill. I mean, all of my wicker wood type of plant containers are all from Goodwill. Here's a pro tip. Giving your plant too much love can actually kill them. I know. So watch out on how much water you're giving your plant. Okay, next up we have right down below me is my crispy fern. Honestly, I have no idea what this is called. I forgot it. It's a really peculiar plant for me. Like, I really don't know if it's happy or not. Like, it's alive, but like, are we happy? I'm like, does anyone know about this plant? How do I care for it? But it seems to be like okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible. The leaves are green, we're pretty okay. So that's that one. Hi, we have my fiddle leaf fig tree. Fiddle! Oh my gosh, you guys, if I have favorites, this is one of them. I have had this plant for 5 years. My longest relationship. No, but seriously. One of my most asked questions are always about my fiddle leaf fig tree. How to care for them, why is my plant dying, how do I make it grow? Like, this plant literally perplexes anyone, and it is known to be very, very finicky. So if you're looking for an easy plant to take care of, while it is aesthetically pleasing, I would not go for this. It's very hard, but if you just listen to the plant, it'll tell you what it needs. So fiddles, they really like indirect sunlight. They love the humidity. This is like a forest plant. So I'm gonna think about that. Anywhere where it's like cool in the home and there's a draft, they hate it. But yeah, these are really beautiful plants, and if you get the hang of it and you kind of listen to what they need, they'll be great. The next plant is right in front of me. This is on my windowsill. This is a neon pothos. So if you're ever looking for plants that kind of like drape over down to the floor, these are perfect. My next plant is a succulent. I am not particularly a fan of succulents, gonna be honest with you. But I have one. I was gifted this by this guy that I was in love with for the longest time. He literally gave it to me on our first date. Like, how can you not fall in love? Like, guys, take some tips. So this is actually what is sitting on my dining room table. Honestly, like, I should probably put this in front of like direct sunlight because like it hasn't grown. See, like we're learning, right? But yeah, succulents, they love a lot of sunlight. Really unique looking plants. So the last plant that I have in my living room is this propagated pothos that I was talking about. I'm actually gonna show you how you can do this yourself. You'll see a lot of these around the home. So for the kitchen, I really should have a lot more plants in here, but I kind of kept it a little bit more minimalistic. And so right in front of me, I actually have another propagated pothos that is sitting on the windowsill. This actually is a cutting from the one that's hanging on the refrigerator. I love this one that is just kind of drooping down the side of it. It's so cute, and these are really easy to manipulate. If you want it to grow along the side of your walls, you can just put pins and like direct it to where it should grow. I just let mine hang over my refrigerator and it just grows like crazy. And so the plant next to it is the same one of that in its own pot. The last one is a peace lily. Okay, you guys, this plant has given me so much grief. Like honestly, okay, one time, I've had this for like 3 years, and peace lilies like look like this, right? It has that beautiful white flower. These, if you think a fiddle is finicky, these are very sensitive. Like if you give it too much sunlight, it hates it. If you give it too little sunlight, it's upset. If they're really unhappy, all of the leaves will like drop so low that you think you've just massacred this plant. But then if you fill it up with water, it's gonna be fine in like an hour. It's so bizarre. Anyways, I left this plant with my friend for like 3 weeks, and I think she was super confused with how to take care of it. And like the flower died and it has never grown back, and it's been like 3 years. So not her fault, but you know, it's hard to care for. I don't know, and it's so weird because like the plant, it hasn't had a flower in like 2-3 years, but it's like still happy and it's still growing. So just like, do you, boo? Okay, so that was the kitchen. Super easy, right? Like we don't need complicated plants up in here. We're almost done. Now let's go into the bedroom and we'll wrap this up and we'll go into the propagation. Okay, so look at my little office plant. It is a pencil cactus. Cacti is so easy to grow. I know this would thrive a lot more maybe in a different room, but it just kind of makes my bedroom look really planty as it could get. It lives on top of that shelf, so it can get a lot of the light that's coming from my balcony window. You don't need to water it too often. I kind of water it every 3 weeks, only like a little bit, and it's doing so well. It waves at me every day. And yeah, these are super cute. Okay, so as you can see, just with natural sunlight, my bedroom is noticeably darker. So I have to be really careful about the plants that I have in my bedroom. But because this is the amount of sunlight that I get at like a prime hour is really concerning. So I have to keep that in mind. That's why I have a snake plant. Snake plants are so flipping easy to care for. Great for beginners. You don't need to water it too much. So yeah, if you're definitely on the lookout to have like a starter group of plants, definitely start off with the snake plant as well. Okay, so the last little plant that I have in my apartment is this bonsai tree. This is also called a money plant. I know it looks really sparse and unhappy right now, but honestly, before all of the leaves fell and it went into this really weird emo phase, this plant was the easiest plant I had ever taken care of. Like it was always so happy and it had so many leaves. It really was a tree and I loved it and it was so easy to care for, but then it really did need some better soil and it outgrew its little container. So yeah, I also named him Bono. Bono the bonsai tree. He thick. Anyways, but yeah, so that is the last plant. I'm hoping he's a lot happier in the future. We will see, but man, he was pretty upset. Okay, so now we are at the propagation station. I know I got a lot of questions from people wanting to know what is propagation, how do you propagate, and I really wanted to include that in this video. So I'm actually gonna show you how I propagated this plant right here. All you need is a clear container. I think it's a lot more fun. You can kind of see the root system whenever it does start growing. And you need a plant that you can propagate. Personally, I recommend propagating a pothos as the first thing that you propagate. They're just a lot easier and they grow so fast that you won't really miss the part that you cut off. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna get are some kitchen scissors, and I am gonna cut diagonally on the pothos plant, and I just want to get enough. Do you see like the little markings on the roots? You want to get right below that. This will allow it to start growing. If you kind of just cut like one stem of it, it's not going to grow. So you have to make sure that there's a good couple leaves on the plant that you're going to be cutting from. After you do that, you're just gonna put it in the actual glass container that you're gonna use and put some clean water in it. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Give it like 2 weeks and you'll start seeing little roots growing, and it's gonna be super fun. You can keep this in here for months. If you see that the container is truly filled to the brim with the roots, then I think you should pot it into, soil. But it will do really well if the water starts turning like a mucky brown color or just kind of like not clear. Just drain it and fill it back up with cool water, and just put it anywhere that there's sunlight, direct sunlight, and this thing will grow really fast. Another example is I recently propagated some garlic and I wanted to grow it out on my balcony. So I put it in a pot outside, I filled it up with some fresh soil, and I'm really excited for that one to grow. So if you're just as confused as I am whether or not your plant is ready to be watered or not, because overwatering really is not good for them, I got this device from Amazon and it's really nifty. You just kind of like put it inside of the soil and it will immediately tell you if the soil is dry or super wet or in the middle. This is good if you feel like you're super clueless with when do I water my plant. If it's at the super dry part, that's when you know you should water it. If it's in the middle or if it's wet, just kind of let it soak up the rest of the water, and whenever it gets dry, just water it. But yeah, I really like this. You can get it from Amazon. I will link it down below for you to purchase. Oh my gosh, you guys, we made it to the end. I'm exhausted. I feel like this was so much talking, but literally anyone can have a green thumb. Like if I can have one, you can have one. You really just have to listen to your plant. It really will tell you what it needs. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, it would mean so much to me if you gave this video a thumbs up. And while you're here, please make sure to subscribe for future plant videos. And until then, good luck on your own plant journey. Oh my gosh, if you plant any plants after this video, please DM me on Instagram because I want to see them. I love them. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Kisses!